Big Sam comes in, and I think you're going to lose. And I mean this with nothing but love and adoration, but I think there was still some idealism with Jesse Marsch and how he wanted to play and how they wanted to execute. And then Javi Garcia comes in and he's trying to just put his fingers in all the holes there and just like manage the ship. He got 11 points out of 11 games. Okay. So it wasn't bad. He got him out of the relegation zone. They were 19th when they took over, but those last couple results just were not good enough. So you got to let him go. Big Sam comes in. And I think you're going to get super pragmatic, as you guys are discussing, just everybody back behind the ball and hope to hit him on a counter or a set piece. And I wonder what our guys can take away from this experience. Cause you know, obviously a lot of these Leeds players went through this last year.
Well, I mean, Heath went through a relegation battle, right? So you can touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as when something's wrong like this. It's not as easy as changing a manager, right? You can get a couple, 11 points out of 11. Not bad, not great, but like I remember, and I've told this story to you guys before that they came in, they doubled everyone's bonuses in the case that we stayed up, right? Doubled everyone's bonuses, and bonuses in Germany are already significant, but it was like, we're giving you everything, all the motivating factor. But it's just when things are wrong, it's not that easy to just flip the switch and just figure it out. Last year, they were able to do that, and they rode that adrenaline. But when I look at them now, I just go, man, you had the new manager. That didn't work. I'm just wondering, is it actually the quality of play? Is there actually just players on that team that cannot make big plays? And it's across the board. When I look at their back 4, 5, 6, just it's constant. And maybe it's tactical. We'll find out. Like, can they withstand 90 minutes of bunkering? I don't think so. Can they press higher up the field to get their goals and take the risk, giving up that space in behind? I don't think so. And so it's just not always, I've been through it, and every motivating factor you would need, right? Except for a change of a coach, was presented to us. And we still didn't figure out how to do it. And we had a good enough team to stay in the league. We had, we had all those factors. We had shown phases throughout the year of quality, right? We lost our first, winless in our first 5 games of the season. And then we went on a run from there. And we were we were in the mix of it all. And with 5 games left, 5 points clear of relegation, we crumbled.
So did you feel like, and could you see it with some of your teammates in that situation where some of them had just checked out, like they couldn't handle the pressure, it was just too big, or whatever it may be? Because I feel like, and this actually, when I look at Weston McKennie, he looks like somebody that's maybe checked out. Like, this isn't my real team. I'm on loan here. And maybe I'm reading the tea leaves in a way that I shouldn't be, because I think he cares. I think he's trying to do his best. There's no question about that. But it's just, there are times where maybe he could have done a little bit more. You could say that about any player on the team, but because this is a U.S. men's national team focused podcast, I want to kind of focus on our guys. Have you seen players kind of check out and maybe not give the necessary energy needed to get the situation back in control?
I would say it varies from player to player because of your situation. Is your contract guaranteed for next year? Is your salary going to be cut in half if you get relegated? Because typically everyone takes a salary cut. It depends how much. Are you going to be moved? What are your motivations for playing? And every player has different motivations. Could be family, could be to support yourself, could be to basically fulfill your potential. You want to play for the biggest clubs. You want to play in Champions League. So it varies on what am I playing for? What am I playing for the club? Do I feel a certain connection with the club, right? And so I think if you've come through the club and your academy, born Leeds, all 3 blood on blood Leeds, I'm passionate about the club. Well, you're going to feel a different way in this position than someone who's on loan to the club, and you're not going to be there next season. So yeah, you'd love to stay up because you play to compete and to win. But at the end of the day, I'm going back to Juve and then I'll make a move from there. Or I stay at Juve. Who knows? But I will.
Oh, by the way, Charlie, on that, he's going through that pressure every day of people saying, yeah, but he doesn't care. And he's not playing well. But he's dealing with people going like, yeah, but he's not here permanently. He doesn't know. He doesn't represent the crest the way that you would if you were a true player. There's no downside. Like, these are all the things that creep into the world of each and every player. Like you said, each individual has a different motivation or a different thing that's keeping them from being able to get the results.
And to be fair, as a player, you're going to be ridiculed when things aren't going your way.
Of course.
Fans will find anything to use as a reason for your poor performances. But the whole team is playing.
No, of course. I'm not trying to pin this on any one player, because I think there's been enough discussion. And if you watch any Leeds games, it's cue the Benny Hill music or the circus music to it's just a comedy of errors all the time. And if it's not one guy, it's somebody else. And in fairness to Weston, I don't know if he's being utilized in the right way. We all know that he's better as an 8. And I think in this instance, he's being used as a double 6. And I think Mark Roca is probably better as an 8. And they really miss Tyler Adams. That is as clear as day. I think the big winner out of this whole Leeds situation is how valuable Tyler Adams is to that particular team. And I could see him, if they get relegated, making a move to a different club as well. And I know there's some big names out there that are having him on their radar. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. So let's talk a little Brendan Aronson, and then we'll move on to some other news in the Premier League with some of our Americans. Brendan Aronson, do you think Big Sam's going to rely on him? Do you think he has that Big Sam character that you need to? Because we know that he'll run through a wall for you. But do you think that Big Sam and Heath, I'll come to you on this first, and then Charlie, just jump in. Do you think that the tactics that Big Sam is going to put out there, Brendan can execute in the way? Because we know he can hurt you on the counter. I mean, if he gets going, he can go. But this is a player that really hasn't been the same since the World Cup, and even he's acknowledged that publicly.
I mean, I hope so. Again, I'm just, when you go through these moments, you just generally you look at a team and you go, this is where the answer is, right? Maybe it's through winning the midfield battle. Maybe it's a good defensive line or a defensive 6 that can keep you into matches. Maybe it's the fact that you've got an X factor of somebody that you could scrap out and get you a goal, between your front 3 every couple of games. I just don't know where this team is going to get the goal or keep the clean sheet. One of those two things, I can't look at it right now and say if they clean this up or they clean that up. Brendan Aronson is a player that we've seen lose considerable confidence and form over time. And that's partially because it's different in the way that he's best at playing. It's also been just him on the field when he gets his chances not looking good. So I don't know if you rely upon him. If you look him in the eyes and you see that, this is a guy that some of it's going to come down to that sort of what's that energy that I'm getting from this person? Can I trust them? Are they going to deliver? I know you'll get a fight from him, but is the fight what you need at this point in the season? Or is it just a tactical trust in we're going to do this way? We're going to, in times that we played away qualifiers, right? Where it was this is the system. It's ugly. It's not nice. We're not going to dictate the play away from home, but we're going to wait for our 1 or 2 punches. We're going to punch them in the face, and we're going to run into the locker room, get out of here with whatever we got, and be on our way, right? That was a system that worked at times away from home. Can they deploy that with the right players? Because a lot of that, even at the national team level, is about trust, right? In the same amount of time, you don't get to spend months with the players. You don't get to build a system. It's about implementing something immediately that's going to have immediate ROI.
All right, Chuck, you want to give me your thoughts on this? It's funny because when I look at this game, Leeds versus Manchester City or Man City Leeds, I'm captaining Erling Haaland in my team because I think the guy could dunk on Leeds and I'm going to get a whole bunch of points. And I think everybody else that plays fantasy is going to be thinking the same thing because there's no faith. You can't have any faith in Leeds right now.
I'm still dying about the ROI. Are you going to get ROI for this particular investment? I don't know. Who knows? This is the big question. It's a paradox. I'm going to invest in $30 million in Brendan Aronson. Are we going to get that funding back? I don't know, but we're in it to win it. No, I think when you're looking at the system, the 3 in the back that Javi Garcia tried to play with was just absolutely in shambles. I think what Sam Allardyce is going to do is go back to a
4-4-2. 4-5-1.
No, 4-5-1.
4-1-4-1. 4-1-4-1.
They don't have 2 strikers to play.
They don't have a 6 either.
They don't have a 1. So you got to throw in as many players as you can centrally, clog up the midfield, force them down the wings. But from box to box, he's gonna make it super condensed. There's not gonna be a lot of space between the lines. You don't want to get stretched, so you're gonna literally play condensed and play on the counter. Rodrigo's your only real attacking threat, and obviously he hasn't been the most dynamic this season or the best, but Sinisterra and Rodrigo, you look at are two players who are quicker than the rest. I wouldn't even say like they have that X factor in terms of
You have
pace.
Jack Harrison as well.
Yeah, but that's not a player who is quick and getting in behind you. He's more of a you get lucky in transition, and he's one-on-one. He has a little bit more space, and then could create something kind of in a hectic way. But that's not a player that you rely on to get results. He's never been trusted as Jack Harrison. He's going to save us. Jack Harrison is that player who is a solid player, good technique. You know what you're going to get out of him. It's pretty consistent, but not a player that's going to take you over the top. And I think the fact that Leeds have to rely on him for creativity and production, I think speaks the truth why they are in the position that they're in. So
Charlie doesn't like Jack Harrison, everybody. Just FYI.
Jack Harrison, I got nothing but love for Jack Harrison. This kid went from New England prep school, high school like me. We made it to the pros.
We got him, everybody. We got him triggered. It only took us 20 minutes into the show, but we triggered Charlie Davies.